Hey everybody, welcome to another Thingamajigger Thursday. In today's episode, we're going to go over last week's mystery tools. I'll show you what they are and how they were used. Then we'll take a sneak peek at next week's mystery tools. Then we're going to take a look at this really cool vintage Swench tool. And then I'll share one of my favorite tools with you. All right, so we'll talk about this old hatchet first. This is a Stanley Bell Systems hatchet. You can see it says Bell System right there. And these were what telephone pole workers or linemen would use about 50, 60 years ago. These were made primarily between 1940 and 1960, approximately. Very, very little actual information about them. But when you have those telephone poles or power line poles, you know, they have those big crossbars at the top, those wooden crossbars, and lots of other hardware attached to them. Especially back then, they used primarily square hardware, square nuts, bolts, square-headed bolts, and that's what this was for. So a lineman or a telephone pole worker could carry just this one tool. He'd have a hammer, a hatchet, and a wrench. So they would use this to apparently put some sort of like climbing pegs in. You could pound the peg in. You could notch it out or knock it off if you had to with the hatchet part of it. You could trim flat spots on the pole. And then when they were up top, they were putting in the hardware, the bolts. They could pound the bolt through the actual pole itself, and then pound the bolt through the crossbar, and then they would have their wrench right here. So, you know, climbing up high, you know, it's nice to have one tool that can do many jobs, because the further up you go, it seems like gravity seems to be a little more difficult, we'll say. Apparently, there was a lot of issues with these not being sharp, and I don't know if it was a company decision or not. I read through a bunch of different forums, and apparently these were shipped initially sharp, and then later on, I don't know if they were ground dull or not, but lots of guys talking about these being dull, and the purpose was guys swinging these as a hammer up high, and when they swing back, they hit their face or hit their head, or whack a finger off or a thumb off up high. And then furthermore, if this thing did come tumbling down, you know, from up high, having that, I mean, granted, no matter what, it's going to hurt, but having this hit you when it's nice and sharp, probably do some major damage. So really kind of neat. I love finding stuff like this. So there's that guy. Now this one, I was really impressed. You guys nailed this thing. I had no clue what it was. I had to look it up. And this is a steel banding strap tensioner. Okay, you know those big steel straps that go around like pallets of lumber or anything really that gets strapped together with those steel straps. Now I don't have any of those straps, and I don't have any of the cinch. They call them seals. They're just metal clips that go around the steel and hold it in place. So I just cut this a little bit ago, and we're going to try to see if this can work. But basically, you would put the front strap over the back strap, slide that in there, and this has got a release paw right here that lifts up on the gear. See it disappear out of the slit right there? So you lift that up, slide that in there, and then as you crank it, well, looks like I'm going backwards. Let's try it the other way. I couldn't find instructions for this one specifically. I haven't even tried this yet. There we go. So you see it holds the bottom one. There's a really gnarly knurled grip inside here on the bottom, so this piece will stay put. And then the top piece is being turned by this knurled gear right there. You can see it's pushing it out. And you would tension it down until it got tight. Then you'd put your seal on there, or clamp or cinch or whatever you want to call it. Once it's tight, just release the paw, slide it out. So really cool. Now the history on this is an ACME tool, or ACME Steel brand. And I'll tell you what, there is not much information out there. I usually go to archive.org and find old tool catalogs, and there is no ACME Steel tool catalog. And from everything I could find, this was made somewhere before 1964. I found a patent, but I'm not sure if it's the right one because it didn't show photos of it, for a steel banding clamp of 1935. This is definitely a older banding clamp. or banding tool. Compared to most of the newer ones that got the big lever action handle on it and all that stuff, this one you wouldn't be able to get quite so much force on, but holy cow, really, really nifty, and it's in incredible condition. I mean, there's virtually no wear on the knurling in there. The handles are, I mean, there's almost no real wear. Now, maybe this handle was remade. I doubt it, but it looks stock, so I think it's really cool, really, really nifty. I'm super glad I found this. And check this out, I'm gonna throw this up here. I found this on Fleabay. When I start searching stuff, I just throw in Google and see what it comes up with. And this exact pair was on Google, and right now it's listed for $599. Unreal. I can't believe that this would actually sell for something like that. I probably won't be selling this anytime soon. So anyway, all right, so there is last week's mystery tools. Thanks again for all the guesses there, nice work. Now we'll take a look at next week's mystery tools. One of them is a little bit difficult, and this one here shouldn't be all that tough. Everybody should know the drill by now. For anybody that's new here, just go ahead and, if you got a guess at what this is or what it could be used for, just, throw it down in the comments. We'll have a little discussion. Maybe I'll just give you a thumbs up. I pretty much respond to everybody. This little piece in the middle slides back and forth. One roundish edge, one triangular or square edge. So that'll be the first one. Oh yeah, please don't forget to do that, huh? This will be the next one. And that's it, that's the whole thing. I mean, nothing moves, there's no moving parts, no clicks. So if you know what that is, this is the tougher of the two for sure. Not really used a whole lot anymore. But yeah, if you got any guesses, same drill as the other one. We'll go over both of these guys next week. All right, now this bugger. Check this out. Haha. I can't believe I got this. I mean, I've been sitting on it for a while. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it as a mystery tool or not, but it's just really cool. So we're just going to take a look at it, and I got a little test I want to do with it. But it's called a Swench. It's basically a ratcheting, impacting wrench. Kind of like an impact gun, but manual. So we're going to take it over to the bench here in a second, and I'll show you what it's for, or how it works. And we're going to actually test it real quick. Comes with different size fittings. This is bigger than a 1/2 inch. I don't think it's quite a 3/4, but it's got a couple adapters. Look how big it can go. This is a square drive, obviously, pretty big. 7/8 square drive on one end. That didn't come with it though. This is an Apex brand. I think these other ones did though. Nope, that's Williams. What is this one? Of course you can't read it, but we need this one. So let's go over to the bench. Okay, pardon the mess. I got more than a couple different projects going on at the same time. So this would be for, like putting on lug nuts or something back in the day. If you're on the road, you don't have air power, or, obviously long before the new lithium ion cordless stuff, but you could impact something down. So this is a 5/8 nut and bolt here. We're just going to hit it with everything it's got, and it's set on the #1 level here, or pretty close to it. So we'll see what it can put out on that level, and then we'll bump it up and see what it can put out. And I got a digital torque meter here, and we'll measure it once I go maybe one full turn around. And you can see it's got like this spring-loaded weight here that slams on the socket. So about one turn, we'll see what the old torque meter reads. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to catch this or not, but we'll try. There it goes. 93.3 or 0.03. I'm going to grab a bigger bar. Okay, so that was on the first setting. Let's see what the higher settings can do. And there's just a hole in the bottom of it. They use the supplied Allen wrench and crank it up. I'm just going to go all the way, see what it can do. All right, there we go. On a setting of 3. I know I'm right in the way, sorry. Okay, go a little bit more for good measure. I felt like it really put a whooping down on it. All right, starting over. 115. We gotta do that again. It's got to do more than that. I wonder if my hand being on there is affecting it. That is slick. 122.3. So it can put a whooping down, not too bad. Very nifty though. All right, now let's go check out one of my favorites. All right, so as you can see, I got a whole nother project going on here. I'm replacing all the exhaust in old Reba. Not all the exhaust, just basically from the muffler back. So my whole welding metal fab area is all boogered up. But the Evolution chop saw, I've mentioned it in some other videos. I figure maybe I'll start bringing in some of the bigger equipment into the Thingamajigger Friday. I'm sorry, Thingamajigger Thursday. I've only been saying it for a year, right? Anyway, holy crap. If you like metalwork at all and you're currently using an abrasive chop saw, make the investment. This is the CS or S380 CPS. It's their middle of the road, not the low end, not the high end. The high end one, when I got this, was like over 800 bucks. This one was about 400, 450, maybe 5. But it can do all of the angles, you know, 14 or 15 inch blade. I just put this Diablo Steel Demon blade on it yesterday, cutting through this 3-inch stainless steel exhaust pipe. Fantastic. I'm gonna do a test cut on this and then a time lapse of a test cut on the bandsaw at the same time for you guys, just so you can see the difference. This is obviously much louder and it has chips that go everywhere, but way faster. Everything is quick adjust. It's got the quick out, back it off, pop it, it falls out. It's got a V-block already, a quick attach V-block, so for pipes or angle iron, even square tubing, I use this because it cuts better going from a tip to the tip on the bottom versus a flat top for the cut. All right, everybody, so that'll do it for today. Appreciate y'all stopping in. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons on your way out. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. We'll see you next Thursday. Oh, and if you got any suggestions for future tools, make sure you put it down in the comments.